Good morning. My name is Tom Luddington. It's my pleasure to welcome you to the 2018 rededication of Midland's Tridge. Our program today will follow, in many respects, the one that was originally done in 1981. The Sharon Mortensen and Alan Ott conferred on the program. They were able to locate the original agenda from that program, and we will follow that in many ways today. We will first have an invocation from Reverend Wally Maton that will be followed by the presentation of the colors by the Boy Scout Troop 768. We will then be led in the Pledge of Allegiance by the Girl Scout Troops 50060 and 50339, followed by the Star Spangled Banner by the Midland Concert Band under the direction of Joel Weissman. And thank you very much for the music this morning. The Reverend Maton.
We are honored to be here this day, and the question I've received most often from all of you if I came on board is, why don't you do something about the weather? It is a glorious day, though. There's something about water that reminds us that life is good, and it continues to flow. It flows forward, and we are part of that current. In being here today, we are most grateful to be part of that flow of life, which is our community as Midland. I thank you for being here and invite you with me to pause that we may give thanks to our Creator God who makes all good things possible. If you would offer your silence in prayer. Our God, what a grateful day we are in heart and in spirit. It is a day of remembrance. It is also a day of anticipation, as we not only think upon those past who have had influence and impact on us, who we are, and how we seek to serve you through our care for one another and for community. We now anticipate, by this dedication, the glory of what is to come. We thank you for the hope, the peace, the joy, and the love that is apparent as we gather as neighbors. We thank you for the promise that you give us as an assurance that as we give of our heart and our hands to your work in this world, good things will come. We ask your blessing. A bridge connects areas of land, but it also, this day and always, connects people, connects us to one another, to live in relationship, in gratitude to you, and in honor of the blessing of our service to our fellow neighbor. Be with us this day in fullness. We thank you for all the components of celebration that we enjoy, and most of all, we thank you for not only what is past, but what is now to come, as we once again celebrate the connection we have through your grace and your love. We ask this blessing in the Lord's name. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Maton. Gentlemen, could we have the presentation of the colors?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. And welcome once again. I'd like to introduce a few of my favorite colleagues from that are joining us today from the Gerstacker Foundation, who has played a significant role in originally the development of the Tridge and the major project that was undertaken in the last year and a half. I saw Gail here just a minute ago. Good morning. Gail Lamfair is our chairperson. Lisa Gerstacker, good morning. Our president, Mr. Schutte, our executive vice president, Mr. Alan Ott, good morning. Bill Lauterbach, who's with his wife Linda, there we are, good morning. Bill Stavropoulos, I thought was going to try and make it this morning. Howard Ungerleider, good morning, Howard. Lori Bowman, I saw you come in. Good morning. Katie Walsh, I not hear you this morning. Ruth Ann Wright, who in many respects kind of keeps us all in line, as well as Shelley Caulfield, both are our administrative assistants. There are a few people that I'd like to recognize in addition to the Gerstacker Foundation that played significant roles in the development of this reconstruction project. Specifically, the Midland City Council was extremely of great assistance in seeing the project along, and we are very appreciative of that. Dan Rogers from the Michigan Baseball Foundation also provided significant project management over the course of the reconstruction. Karen Murphy, who's the Director of Public Services for the city, as well as her staff. And finally, Bart Heil and Travis Keaton from the city of Midland, who provided oversight on the project. We are very, very much appreciative of the time and the effort that you all invested. I'd like to call on a few folks to provide some comments and oversight, beginning with Lisa Gerstacker, our president.
Good morning. The Tridge was the vision of my dad, Carl, and Esther. I know they'd be very pleased with the beautiful renovation. I want to thank Sharon Mortensen with the Midland Area Community Foundation and Karen Murphy with the City of Midland for their guidance and support on this project. Thank you.
Sharon? President, CEO of the Community Foundation.
Well, good morning, everyone, and thanks for coming out on this chilly day, but hey, we're rain-free, so that's fabulous. And I'm here to talk about the history of the Tridge. And the history of the Tridge reflects three qualities of this place that we call home and that we love so dearly. And one is a big, bold idea. The second is the determination to move it forward and get it done. And then the third is a community of people coming together to help make it happen. So it started with a big, bold idea, a pedestrian bridge crossing two rivers. Now, I got to tell you, the big, bold idea was not without its detractors. The bridge to nowhere, some said. Those with a big, bold idea, among them Carl and Esther Gerstacker, refused to let go of the concept. They envisioned a riverfront bustling with activity, much as we're experiencing here today. And they envisioned this whole riverfront development plan. And you've got to realize when they were building this, we didn't have all the beautiful amenities that you see here today. So the Tridge was one of the critical elements of this riverfront development plan that they came up with. And they shared that with the community and the idea for the Tridge, and fundraising started in 1980. The Gerstacker Foundation pledged half of the cost of the bridge through a challenge grant, and the Midland Area Community Foundation was responsible to work with the community to raise the other half needed. So the Midland Community Foundation opened a project fund and became the sponsor, as it was called, of the project. Well, it continued as those with the determination or the grit figured out how to make it happen. And I've got to tell you, the original construction of the Tridge was no small feat in its time. Remember, we're talking back in 1980, 81. It was designed by the Commonwealth Associates out of Jackson, Michigan. And at that time, it was the largest wood arch bridge of its kind in the whole world. So it was quite an undertaking. Ground was broken. Now, this is really cool. I just figured this out last night when I stopped by the office to look up some more history. That ground was broken May 13th, 1981, almost exactly to the day what we're experiencing, but we won't move it till tomorrow. Okay, we'll get it all done today. But that's really cool. So it was almost to the day 37 years ago, and less than 5 months later, the Tridge was actually dedicated on October 4th, 1981. Now, when the Tridge was first opened, and I looked up some of what people recounted, they described it, those in attendance, feeling like a stampede because it filled with people. I mean, all of the three arches filled with people. And one person stated, that's an extreme load. There can be 200 pounds per square foot when it's full of people. That's more of a load than an automotive bridge. And I will say, this was from those in attendance. I was not among them, but it creaked, but it stood fast. So everyone breathed a big sigh of relief that day. Now, the third element for success was a community of people coming together to bring a dream into reality. And while detractors were many, and I've got to say they kept the Midland Daily News very busy with letters to the editor. In fact, there were more letters against, as I looked at it, than there were for it. But now what an icon it is today. But a group of visionary people kept moving it forward, and those visionary people included children in our community. The impetus, as you know, was the Gerstacker Foundation, who stepped forward, offered their philanthropic support with a challenge grant at that time of $366,000, which was half of the cost of the bridge, $732,000. The Midland Area Community Foundation led the fundraising drive to raise the other $366,000. And you've got to know the Midland Area Community Foundation was founded in 1973, so this was a bigger project early in its history. And it was founded really with Carl and Esther being instrumental. They had come from Cleveland, Ohio, and they saw the first community foundation in the world was in Cleveland, Ohio, and they saw the benefit it had in that community. They saw it as a way to engage the community in philanthropy, that it would not just be family or corporate foundations, but community people could be a part of philanthropy, and that it could be real important to assist with projects like the Tridge project. So other area foundations, businesses, individuals gave to the fundraising effort. In fact, school children from 21 schools in Midland County gave to the Tridge through penny drives and other projects. So kids, how many here might have been in the community at that time and gave pennies through penny drives? So a few of you are admitting that you did that. Thank you. In fact, in a 1995 interview with Carl Gerstacker, he said students were responsible for coming up with the name the Tridge. So he told us that because he was so inspired by these kids coming together and supporting this. Approximately 800 individual gifts put the fundraising drive over the top, and Tridge construction got underway. The dedication on October 4th, 1981 was called a triumph of a community's commitment to improvement and beautification through local resources and initiatives. So it was called a triumph, and it really was. It really was a triumph, just like this day is today. So our community's vision statement says, to gather forward bold, an exceptional place where everyone thrives. Well, the history of the Tridge reflects, number one, a bold idea, that component there. Two, those with determination or grit to move it forward, that forward part. And finally, people coming together, that together part, to build an exceptional community. So today we're here to rededicate the Tridge and again celebrate the Gerstacker Foundation and their continued investment in this and in our community in so many ways. And I want to say thank you to them. Thank you all for being here, and thank you for believing in these projects and these things that we do in our community and coming together to support them. Thanks.
Thanks, Sharon. The original project was unique, but the reconstruction of the Tridge over the course of the last year and a half was also a major project. Important in that process was the oversight from Public Services with the city, Karen Murphy. Can you give us a little bit of an oversight on how the project went?
Well, we did learn that it's harder to renovate than it is to build new. So that was our first big tidbit. But in the fall of 2016, the city park staff began reviewing the condition of the Tridge and considering what our renovation options would be. So with expert knowledge from a structural engineer who specializes in timber construction bridges like ours, from the dedication and hard work of our contractors and park staff, and the generous support of the Roland M. Gerstecker Foundation, we were able to transform the Tridge into the beautiful structure that you see today. So what was happening last summer behind all those construction tarps and all that scaffolding? We had a contractor in that was using a dry ice blasting technique to take all the old stain off the Tridge and uncover the beautiful wood grain surface of the Tridge arches. A protective oil-based stain was then applied to bring out that rich wood look that you see today. And every piece of railing and decking had to be removed from the Tridge so that we could clean and restain every inch of the wood. The goal of the project was not only to bring the Tridge to look brand new again, but it was also to prolong its life for generations to come. For example, the black caps that you see on top of the arches and on the railing posts are new. That's something we didn't have before. They're actually made from layers of black paper held together with an epoxy resin. And the purpose of this is to reduce water penetration into the wood and prolong the life of the wood. The oil-based stain, likewise, will further eliminate water penetration and preserve the wood's integrity. The new decking, which consists of over 70,000 pounds of Douglas fir, was installed in smaller, more manageable pieces that can be moved easily by hand, making it easier for us to maintain and repair any damage going forward. We were even able to preserve the railings, the existing railings, so we were able to reduce waste and save costs on the project as well. In addition, we upgraded the technology on the Tridge by installing 108 new color-changing LED lights on the arches, and we also put security camera systems on each leg of the Tridge. The lights will be programmed for major holidays and special community events for color shows throughout the year. In fact, if you stop by this evening after dark, you will see a really nice rainbow show that shows you all the different colors that the lights are capable of. So that's kind of a neat thing if you're out later. We also added some colorful benches and a center light to create a welcoming gathering place in the center of the Tridge. The project began in mid-April of 2017, and the finishing touches were put in place in December. Even with a slight setback from the June flood, the $2.7 million project moved along nicely, thank you to the work of all of our contractors on the project. So at this time, I would like to recognize our project partners. Some of them are here with us today, but I'm so excited we have such a big crowd, I can't see them all. So if you are here, just wave and know that we really appreciate all the hard work that went into this project. Dale Johnson and Don Chahosky with J.R. Heineman & Sons. J.R. Heineman served as our construction contractor and also offered construction management on site for us. Matt Joswak with Pyramid Control, now known as Town and Country Group. Matt's crew provided all the electrical work for the project, including installation of the new lights and the camera systems. Tom Valent with Gerace Construction. Gerace provided all the river barges that were so critical to get this project complete. And Precision Ice Blasting Corporation traveled here from Wisconsin to offer their expertise in the dry ice blasting. And the result of their work is that beautifully rich wood that we see today. All of these contractors were wonderful to work with throughout the project, and each provided just their own expertise that we needed to really make this project a success. I would also like to thank, again, the Michigan Baseball Foundation for allowing us the support of Dan Rogers. He helped keep us all on track with his weekly schedules to keep the project moving forward. And of course, a big thank you to the Midland Area Community Foundation. Their staff worked behind the scenes to keep all the financial management of the project moving forward. So after the ribbon cutting today, we would invite you to visit our photo display under the tent in the corner. The board itself is made of an old piece of the original Tridge decking, which we think is really fantastic. While the old decking did need to be replaced, our park staff are always coming up with new uses for it. In fact, some of the old Tridge decking was used to build 2 new bridges for the mountain bike trails at City Forest. The original bridges were completely decimated in the flood, and by the end of the summer, we had 2 nice bridges back in place with the Tridge decking, the old Tridge decking as a component. So in closing, of course, I would like to personally thank the Gerstacker Foundation for their support and for giving me the opportunity to help lead this project. I stood here in 1981, I got a little prop here, as a little girl in my original Tridge Troll t-shirt. And so I really enjoyed being able to be part of this project. It truly was a pleasure to help bring the Tridge back to life. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Sharon. You may all recall some of the photography of the scaffolding floating down the river headed in the direction of the Dow Dam. This was not a simple project. I also noted the importance of the city of Midland. And we have our favorite mayor of the city.
Wow, and good morning. You know, as I look at, I saw the flag and I listened to the beautiful music and I see all of your wonderful faces, I just think this is an incredible example of Americana at its finest. Well, since our Tridge has been built in 1981, it has become the unofficial symbol of Midland to not only our residents, but to people from across the world. Our Tridge is beautiful, it's interesting, and it's functional. And I think if you asked most Midlanders they would say it is so much more than this crazy 3-legged footbridge. I'm reading the book about cities, and one of the quotes that I got from it was about love notes. The book is called For the Love of Cities, and this is what it says. A love note is something that endears a place to its residents, something that makes them smile or feel at ease, something that provides them with an emotional connection to their place. I think the Tridge is a love note. And it connects us not only emotionally, but also physically. It connects our downtown and the wonderful dining and shopping that we have down there to across the bridge to all the wonderful things like the dog park, the skate park, to the Redcoats facility. It also connects us emotionally. It's the place that we come to if we want a walk, to ride your bike, or for an incredible photo op. It's a love note. And I want to say thank you very much to the Gerstacker Foundation for making sure that this Tridge, our love note, is here for years to come for all of us to enjoy. So thank you so much. And we have a gift for you. It's a little heavy and awkward, but it's made from their original planking. And it has a picture of the Tridge on. Do I need to help you? There you go.
Very heavy.
Yeah. And it says on the back who it's from, just in case years down the way they don't remember. So we'll take it to your office. We'll have it over there so people can take a look at it, but we'll bring it to your office and we'll even help you hang it should you want to do that. So again, our sincere thanks for all that you do for this wonderful community.
Thank you, Maureen Darker. And a few remarks from our Attorney General, Mr. William Schuette.
Well, good morning. Judge Tom Ludington has encouraged us all to clap and give applause and express gratitude to so many, but we haven't really thanked Tom Ludington. Thank you, Judge Ludington, for your leadership today. Well, 37 years ago, we had a special day, and today, 37 years later, it's a special day in Midland as well. 37 years ago, Judge Henry Hart was the master of ceremonies. Now, it's fitting that our own Judge Tom Ludington, a federal judge, is the master of ceremonies today. It fits like a glove. 37 years ago, we had Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, invocation, concert band, and what do you say today? We have Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, concert band, an invocation by Wally Mayton. Thank you very much, Sharon Mortensen, for your marvelous words. Mayor Donker, thank you so much. Joe Mann was the mayor then. Thank you for your leadership today. Karen and the members of the City Council and City leadership, this indeed is a really wonderful day. Now, 37 years ago, Carl Gerstacker, Lisa's dad, gave closing remarks at the Tridge when we dedicated it. Now, those 37 years ago, Tom Luddington and I think Dave Camp as well, we were in charge of the balloon drop. That was our job back then. But Carl Gerstacker was the driving force on building the Tridge. 37 years ago, my mom, Esther Schutte Gerstacker, Carl's wife, she gave some comments about the significance of the Midland Area Community Foundation and how we all have to, invest your pennies in the schools that went across the city and collected money. And, Carl and Mom loved Midland. Carl Gerstacker and Mom loved Midland. And they loved each other. And they had this incredible commitment to building our town to be the finest town in the United States of America. And Lisa Gerstacker and I have been so blessed to have learned from them about this commitment and drive about how we improve Midland all the time. And Lisa has that same commitment that Carl did to the Tridge and Midland. And so it's nice that we get to do this together, Lisa and I. And it's also nice all of us get to do this together. And that's really what the significance of the Tridge is. Now, we need to have big hopes for Midland's future. Nothing small, but big hopes and dreams in terms of what we do in the future. So one, there'll be more bridges. There'll be more bridges in Midland's future. Second, just watch how we expand the riverfront. It'll be really cool. Third, I'm excited about we're going to create more attractions in Midland, more events like the LPGA, hotels and amenities to add to the gravity of downtown and add to the vibrancy of downtown Midland. And Midland and the Tridge, the convergence of the Chippewa and the Tittabawassee here at the Tridge, well, it brings all of us together. It brings out the best of us in terms of giving and the philanthropic institutions we have in this town, the Strosacker Foundation, the Herbert H. and Grace A. Dow Foundation, Michigan Baseball Foundation, the Dow Family Foundation, the list goes on and on and on, and the Midland Foundation as well, that, commit and build our community. And I got to tell you, isn't that Tridge? Isn't she a beauty, ladies and gentlemen? She's a beauty. Now, both Lisa and Tom reminded me of something my mother did 37 years ago. And Lisa, if you don't mind coming to join me here. You can, come on, Tom. Here we go, Tom. So, sorry. So my mom encouraged us all to engage in group participation, okay? And so 37 years ago, she encouraged everyone to stand up. So stand up. And you're going to have to watch what Judge Luddington and Lisa and I are encouraging you to do. But we're going to want everybody to assume the Tridge position. Legs together. Arms up in the air. Assume the Tridge position, ladies and gentlemen. This is official. Well done. You get A's today. Nice job. Give yourself a big round of applause. Beautifully done. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Tom.
I wasn't sure if he was going to really do that. He did. Thank you, Bill. Now, let's have a little bit more fun with something that also harkens back to a little bit of history. Back in 1979, the Woodcrest fifth graders wrote and then performed the Tridge song. And today we have the Center Stage Youth Choir Group under the direction of Tracy Kempsel, who will perform in 2018.
I am technologically.
We're gonna build that beautiful bridge across the Chippewa to the Bawasee, a three-way bridge for all to see. It'll be fun for you and me. You can walk across this brand new bridge. It's fun across this brand new bridge. From downtown to nature's beauty, it's a pathway across the big sea. We're gonna build that beautiful bridge across the Chippewa to the Bawasee, a three-way bridge for all to see. It'll be fun for you and me.
She was just indicating that we have one of the authors of the original song. And thank you for your performance this morning. Now, I'd like to invite my colleagues from the Gerstacker Foundation up to cut the ribbon and officially reopen. Do we have our ribbon? Right here, I believe. And while they're organizing the ribbon, there's a couple of concluding remarks I'd like to make. We have some children, as I understand it, with bubbles.
And adults too. Adults too.
They have at it. We're celebrating. There will, as soon as we are finished with the ribbon cutting, which will be done by Bill and Lisa. Yep. Okay. We will have cookies and water over in the tent. And we want to finally thank the Midland Concert Band once again and Joel Weissman for the music today.
We'll all kind of hold on. Alan, hold on to that too. Alan, grab on that. Dan, put your hand on that. Thing. Yeah. Come on in there, Howard. We're close. We're close. We're supporting. We got everybody. We're here. Ready? 1, 2. There we go. Took a little bit. Here, Lee, hold that up so I can see. There we go.
Thank you, everyone.